Shocker. Ulti's deciding to become Yamato's subordinate, and she's swearing fealty to her. No one saw this coming. Everyone kind of did. Let me not speak for everybody. I definitely saw this coming. I've mentioned this for weeks on top of weeks, you guys know. So, cool to see. I mean, it makes sense considering Ulti and how she captivated the fandom. Ulti is one of my faves, right? I like Ulti a lot. And so, her being a part of Yamato's crew, this is Yamato's pilgrimage, right? So, it's going to be akin to Odin's. I'm excited for it, right? I'm still excited for what's to come because it seems like she's going to be picking up the rest of her scabbards, if you want to say that. But it kind of compounds the issue that I have with Yamato. She's not her own person. However, this could be the journey to her finding herself. Part of the issue with Yamato and Wano was that she wanted to be Odin so much, she didn't feel like she had any character. So if she goes through this pilgrimage, gets her own retainers, maybe she discovers her own personality, her own identity, then we can finally meet Yamato. So I like where this could possibly end up. If it ends up to her just doubling down on becoming or being Odin, saying, hey, I have the same number of scabbards, I'm doing it. Then we're kind of hustling backwards, right? So far, so good. Ulti page 1, I'm all for it. Now to the chapter. The first part of this chapter feels like a stage play because they see Gunkko and like, who are you? And it's like, you're one of the humans that did that to the castle guards. And she's like, humans? We are gods. It's super dramatic. But like I said, Gunkko feels like somebody that didn't have this level of prestige before. So she's going to let you know, and she's going to appreciate it and go further than people that had it all their lives. It feels that way. It seems that way. More than likely, that's where it's trending. Enel name drop. Never mad at an Enel name drop, saying you're just like Enel. You sound like Enel. And those celestial dragons, but you sure don't look like it. Who are you? And I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into Gunkko's personality and the things Gunkko's saying, but even when she talked to Colin saying she's a child, he should know to hold his tongue. Is this a part of her upbringing? Was this something that was drilled into her? Because, bro, obviously, in my opinion, Gunkko is somebody that was brought into Marijoa and she's been indoctrinated into how they live, how they think, how they breathe, where she believes she's one of them and the most radical side of them, which makes her even more dangerous, which makes sense as to why they recruit kids and people like her. Now, her identity, people are saying she could be Ginny, people are saying she could be Bonnie's cousin, right? Bonnie's sister, whatever, a clone. There could be some tie-in. I think that would be really cool. I don't want to make that jump yet, even though when she first showed up, I was like, haha, that'd be funny if she was Ginny or a clone. I don't know anymore. However, she obviously wasn't born a celestial dragon. No, she appreciates it too much. And the celestial dragons, they don't appreciate anything. Brooke, we gotta have a talk. You and Robin, we gotta have a serious sit down in regards to the things that you guys know. Because at what point, all right, at what point do you guys tell us what you know and really give it up in regards to what you got going on? Because he just casually says, she must be a god knight, even beyond the celestial dragons in rank and... Bro, this is pretty pertinent information that we would have liked to have known. I mean, I know, guys, it wasn't time for us to know, but it really does grind our gears when Brooke knows such important stuff and he's just like, yeah, I don't know. But now it's like, the God Knights, dangerous group. But I mean, Brooke, he is older. He's been around for much longer than the others, so he should know more information. But that's part of the problem because Brooke, as knowledgeable as he is, as old as he is, just like Robin, they don't know hockey. Right? Come on. I think the most important thing from this chapter is Gunkko's impromptu speech. Now, I'm not sure if she had this plan for when she was fighting these guys. Like, she was I'm going to go into a speech about the world and how it's supposed to be eradicated and how you guys, or some guys like you, messed it up. I'm not sure. But she went into impromptu speech time, talking about the world and how the world was supposed to disappear. And that people were gung-ho on letting everyone know that the world was about to disappear and messed it up. However, it's not done. It's not over. It's still coming. It's inevitable. You guys can't stop it. What I liked about this chapter is specifically when Gunkko is fighting these guys, right? And Usopp attacks her. Looks like it's a fatal blow. But of course she has regen like the Gorosei, which brings up a ton of questions. But then she says, what's going to happen is inevitable. You cannot stop it. And at the same time, her arrows are going towards the Straw Hats. And Brooke says, an attack that can telegraph, it's almost absurd. And with Gunkko's powers, it's telegraphed. It's telling you what's coming and you can't stop it. And then she goes into saying the countdown has started. And like the contrast between her powers and how inevitable they are, even though you know what's going to happen, and the countdown starting and the world ending being inevitable, and how you really can't stop it, which made me think about the ending of the story, where towards the final saga, there's going to be a countdown. Oda loves this countdown. So I'm thinking it could be either in different islands or just in the sky where everyone can see is going to be a countdown. And what's perfect for the countdown? We already have the Mother Flame, and the Mother Flame is going to have a cooldown, right? So whilst we're waiting for the cooldown, it's going to be a countdown saying, okay, 10 minutes to the next blow from the Mother Flame. And I was thinking about some of the islands that could be eradicated because, guys, this is happening, right? A world war is going to happen, and islands are going to be wiped off the face of the earth while we're waiting. Water 7, or where Water 7 should be. Gone. Alabasta. Gone, Dressrosa, out of there, right? So I think they're going to make examples out of so many different islands. How Gunko's talking about it, this is already a part of the plan. It's set in stone. It is written, okay? This is the way. You get the point. She talks about the giants and saying the giants' allegiance will shape how the conflict unfolds, which is putting, again, a lot of credence into the Giants' decisions, but also hyping up the Giants and their army and their position in the One Piece world. Where I think for some it is dwindling considering King Harold and his wants. We'll talk about King Harold. But she's saying the Giants and what they choose is still very much important to the outcome of everything. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I just would like to see more of it. But again, the average giant soldier in comparison to a human soldier, I mean, it's night and day, right? The average one. I'm talking about the average giant and how difficult it is to take that giant down as opposed to the average human soldier. I mean, it's the bottom tiers is no comparison. Giants outrank, they overpower humans 10, 20, 30, 50 to 1, right? It's insane. When you get to the top, right, the upper echelon, the upper tier, that's where the humans seem to have the upper leg, the upper rung, whatever. Humans have the advantage when it comes to that. But in a war, right, a numbers game, the Giants are going to win or going to overwhelm and swing the tides in their favor more often than not, right? So I get what Gunkko was saying, and it's important. But I want to see how this decision, how it swings the pendulum. What is it based on? Because now they're trying to kidnap the kids and have the hostages so they can force the Giants on their side because they understand how important the Giants are and that they need the Giants on their side. I don't mind the Giants going towards the other side, considering, bro, at some point it starts to feel like the Straw Hats are overwhelming, considering the alliances that we have. So if the Giants are on the other side, cool. That's fine. It's okay. Gunko's personality, though, is coming through. And, I like Gunkko. I really do. She said, it's merely my duty that I'm carrying out, right? So, but the concept of hostages, it means nothing to me. The lives of children is worthless as trash to me. And some people were taken aback by that, saying, how could you say that? But you got to understand the mindset. She looks different, but she is still a celestial dragon. And she's going to think like them, if not even more so, right? She's echoing the things and the sentiments about how they feel, which is right. Not that the sentiment is right. What she's echoing is actually how they feel, right? And how they feel makes sense considering how they view humans. They view themselves as on another tier, on another level, that humans are trash. So them comparing children to trash is like how they feel about humans anyway, right? So Gunkko saying that I wasn't taken aback by that. I was like, what do you think the Celestial Dragons think of people before? Kids, adults, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to them at all. So I understood what Gunkko was saying. Didn't agree with it. I promise, I didn't agree, but I get it. Small panel, Luffy and Loki. Loki's really, man, he's getting sucked into the pace, right? Like he's assimilating himself with the Straw Hats and specifically Luffy's antics because he's stuffed, right? And they're just laying next to each other like old buddies. And Hyruden is just there like, brother. You say about my brother. He's just trying to kill my brother. All right. Either way, this is a Gunkko showcase chapter, right? This is a lot of Gunkko going on. I'm impressed. Regen, which is exceptional. Mindset, which also is important, but it's going to come crumbling down. But also abilities. The arrow ability, it reminds me of Aizawa. If you guys have watched My Hero, you guys understand where Aizawa is just better in groups, right? Just better in groups considering just how we can use people against them, use their weight, use their power, etc. For Gunkko, it may be the same thing, where in groups she can use their powers against them, etc. Not saying she can't fight 1v1, but I wonder how different is the showcase going to be considering, or when you compare it to when she gets her 1v1, because that's happening. I do think it's inevitable that Gunkko is going to be either a sacrificial lamb, or she's going to be turned, or it's going to be something very deeply emotional about her backstory and her upbringing. She's not like the others at all. She's more dangerous. She's more violent, right? But there has to be a reason for that. It seems like she's out to prove herself every single time. So shout out to Gunkko. The abilities are crazy. Had Jinbei punching Brook. And, Jinbei's no slouch, obviously. So you got to give her props. You got to give her credit. The God Knights, they are definitely impressive. They're definitely a threat. And the regen, I see some people saying that they're tired of the regen gimmick. Like, can we get something else? Guys, we saw it last arc in Egghead, right? Towards the end of Egghead. Now we're seeing it here with Gunkko towards the middle of beginning of Elbaf, depending on how long you see it going. It's going to take time for us to figure it out, right? And the more time it takes, I think the more weight and value it holds, because it's not something we figured out right away. We had to go through this thing time and time again, and we're like, okay, we can figure it out. You guys have seen my video, one of my theories about Scopper being the one to help them, right? Where he can get some relevance and purpose by being the one to show them how to hurt the Gorosei and the God Knights. So that's my hope for Scopper, at least. But so far, so good, Gunkko. You're doing your thing, girl. Doing your thing. For the Usopp fans that are holding out hope that Usopp can do something great in this arc, it might be over. I'm not serious, but I might be. Okay, this is just what's going to happen. Give him time to bounce back. We're probably halfway through Elbaf at this point. Just give it time. That's all I can say about Usopp. Give it time. The God Knights are real threats. Now, the feel of it still feels limited. And I think that has to do with Shamrock being here and then leaving. So you feel like, wow, we have Doflamingo here, then he just left his family. They're still very impressive, but I want Shamrock. Either way, I want to give the God Knights their credit. They're effective, they're efficient, they're powerful. They're truly powerful. And for Killingham, his powers and how he uses them, even with sleep paralysis, is crazy, right? The thought process with sleep paralysis is insane, because most of us have been through sleep paralysis, if not all of us, and we understand how terrifying that can be. And he can just casually use that on Angie, and I know there are a few people that think she could be the traitor. I don't know, it could be just a bluff. Who knows? But I'm liking how they're operating, right? Even Sommers, he's fighting Saul. He's on the phone with Killing. He's like, hold on, we got a big one here. Right? He's about to fall soon. He's a former vice admiral. And Oda uses this to try to hype up the vice admirals. Oda, it's not working. All right, it's not working. The vice admirals, they're cooked. Right? Them as a faction is cooked. If anything ever happens to Garp, it is over, right? Just pack it up and leave. Now, Saul, he has Robin and Chopper in his hair. He says, don't say anything, leaving the kids to you. And then, he's not dead, but he's keeling over. Sommers, man, while Saul is falling, he's like, you hear that? Timber! He is diabolical, and I love it. And for Robin, think about it. He just reunited with Saul, right? Just happy to find out he's alive, and he is possibly on death's door again. Saul, man, it's obviously not his fault, but geez, that's tough. That's tough. Another really important thing towards the end, King Harold. I knew something was up. We all knew something was up. Loki wasn't crazy. King Harold, he made a deal. Not saying he sold out his people, but he was working in tandem with them. We heard about them talking about King Harold's grave and visiting it when they first showed up. We're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why would they visit King Harold's grave? Well, because they had an agreement seemingly with him for their people, their kids, to be the mercenaries of the world government. However, what happened? King Harold took his horns off and then tried to turn Elbaf into somewhat a pacifist country, almost so woke, where the kids are not as enthralled by battle. Sommers is bothered by this because he's saying King Harold, because of that action, messed everything up in regards to their expectations of the kids that are in Elbaf. Now, I don't want to say King Harold sold out his people, but if he was indeed working with them and at one point saying, hey, we're going to get more soldiers, that's a problem. And so I'm not letting Harold off the hook. He has a side eye even more now, because what? Mercenaries? Did you sell them out and then change your mind? You got a change of heart because you felt guilty, you felt bad? What's the story here, Harold? And Gyro, we got to bring you to the front of the congregation. We got to ask you what's going on. What do you know, Gyro? Nah, yeah. What do you know at a time like this, Gyro? So, questions that need answered. God Knight's doing their thing. I still would like somebody else here, but I don't know. I don't know where this is going. I really don't know, but pretty good chapter. They're telling us the apocalypse is coming. The war is coming, right? It's coming, and we got to prepare for it in different ways. But I think just how Gunkko laid it out is going to be a countdown. There's going to be people in different islands trying to fend off whomever is coming. I can't wait. Guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about the chapter? Thought it was pretty good. Just still building, right? So like the video, subscribe. Thank you my patrons as well. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys hold it down. Thank you. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.